Remember what it was like to be 14?
She's old enough to exhibit a little bit of character, but then I guess that's something you normally learn from your parents.
It's a shot across my bow, right? Missed something?
Really, instilling character, our burden as parents.
I got that part.
And you really haven't been much of a parent lately, so it's tough to expect.
Just because you and I have been struggling with this Gordian knot doesn't make me any less.
Nice Gordian knot, but her little 14-year-old self might view it differently. Might consider it abandonment.
Come on.
She might view her father as absent, or not there, or perhaps even a selfish
Barbara.
man. Precocious little crap.
I'm not defending her. I'm
not
on your
blaming
side.
her, because I
Barbara,
don't expect
how
that.
can we fight
Any
like
different
on
than
your
her
side?
father's a selfish
Barbara,
man.
settle down.
Be a father. Help me.
I am your father, damn it.
Her father in absentia. Her father in name only.
I have not forsook my responsibilities.
It's forsaken, big shot.
Actually, forsook is also an acceptable usage.
Oh, forsook. You and the horse you rode in on.
So we always have to fight on your terms then. On top of one moment, whimsical insults the next, all of it when it suits you.
We covered this around year 3, Bill. That you're the master of time and space, and I'm a spastic Pomeranian.
It's not fair.
I'm sick of being fair. I'm sick of the whole notion of enduring female. Grow up. 'Cause while you're going through your 5th puberty, the world is falling apart and I can't handle it. But more importantly, your kid can't handle it.
Our kid is just trying to deal with this damn madhouse that you've dragged her into.
This madhouse is my home.
Think about that statement for a second, why don't you?
Jean is here with me because this is a family event.
Jean is here with you because she's a buffer between you and the shrill insanity of your mother.
You know, you'd have a lot more credibility if you had any credibility.
Can't resist, can you?
Oh, you're a pretty easy mark.
You're so damn self-righteous. You know, you're so...
Surely, you must have known when you started porking Pippi Longstocking, you were due for a little self-righteousness. Just a smidgen of indignation on my part.
Maybe I split because of it.
Thank you.
All right. I appreciate the changes that you guys have made. It's some nice work. You can do better. So here's the next part. Subtext of nice Gordian's knot line. So he says this Gordian's knot, and I don't understand from you what you mean by nice Gordian's knot, right? They're both educated people, right? And so how often something like that, a Greek metaphor, comes into conversation? I'm assuming she's like, oh, pretentious asshole. Nice. You're going to throw me a Greek mythology reference right here? Like, that's what I would take the subtext, but right now I'm not finding that subtext. Like, you don't understand what she means, what he's meaning there. What is the line right before the scene starts, Jonas?
Do you remember what it was like to be 14?
No.
Yep, what's before that? Okay, it's awkward. It's really awkward. And that line needs to be answering what happened right before it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think that you could say, I mean, there's a nice, like, establishing the tension beat, but that establishing the tension beat needs to come from the moment before. So go back to your script and figure out what the moment before was. And if it's a different scene with different people, then figure out what their moment before was. Does that make sense? And that 14-year-old can happen at the dishes. Does that make sense? So you can establish the, well, do you remember what it was like to be 14 at the dishes? And then start the business. It's almost as if you're rushing the business, and you don't need to. You can stand still in this scene because it's about the relationship that's going on. It's not about setting the table. What is this scene about? It's about this. It's not about anything else that you've layered in. Jonas, I also think that you need to be louder still. And when you project it's like your voice is caught right here. It's in the back of your throat. So really project like stuff through your teeth. And I don't know if you heard the difference in what I just did right there, right? It is a very different thing than almost swallowing your words and back here versus pushing. I want you to push the air through your teeth and get that idea, because that may get your voice out from being trapped here. Great moment on Forsaken, Jaffe. I loved you thinking about it. I loved you laughing about it, kind of thing. So keep that in there. Quote him. I love the moment where you were thinking about, oh, what did he call me? Oh yeah, spastic Pomeranian, right? That dig hurt you when he said it how many years ago, right? So yeah, I like the moment of you like, oh yeah, what was that? Oh yeah, right? But then quote him. Spastic Pomeranian, like how he would have said it to you, right? And that brings up, oh my God, you didn't mean to say that. You had a huge argument when it came out of your mouth how many years ago, right? And now she's bringing it up again. How many times can you say, I'm sorry for that? Like that is a really raw thing that needs to come out and hit. When you say fifth puberty to him, you're going through your fifth puberty, you little boy, that's a huge dig. And Jonas, you need to react to that. Huge dig. So react to those different things. I didn't understand why, Jonas, you switched chairs. Like you were sitting where Jaffe is, and then she moved, and then you jumped to her chair. That was just awkward. And I didn't understand why you had to sit all the time. So really motivate those things. Motivate why you're sitting down. And when you finally crossed him and was like, porking your student, blah, 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 I actually said out loud, don't sit, and then you sat. So I don't understand the magnetism to sitting down, because if I'm in a fight like that, the energy keeps me up a lot, right? So just know that, especially if I'm in my kitchen, I'm leaning against a counter, I'm not going to sit down in the middle of something like that. So really choose when you're going to sit and why, okay?
Yeah, I agree with everything. I think in your quest to get the diction out, Jonas, that you're starting to stress every word that you say, and it's coming across as just angry, and there's no subtleties. So don't jump to 100% on just because, like, we're still at the beginning of the scene. It can still be that toss of like, okay, just because to me, he's kind of the calmer, more sane one, the more logical, and he gets frustrated, yes, but be careful not to play it all the same, have some different levels. Not fair was lovely, and your help me was lovely. Just still watch the higher pitches. I would especially say on the porking that's a place to bring it down, because we've kind of reached the apex of this particular fight, and it's coming down, so it's more subtle on the, well, what did you expect when you were porking your student, man? You know what I'm saying? Like, take that down.
To be more like, not mature-wise, but like just...
Lower register.
Lower register, sarcastic, accusatory. You know, I think in general you can kind of spend more time in the lower registers. Yeah. You don't need to get shrill, because to me she's not.
Women fighting, anytime I yell at Tihoon, if I go, Tihoon, she like thinks it's funny, right? But if I go, Tihoon, that's when she knows she's in trouble, right? So it's the lower register that when you're fighting sometimes that really is effective.
Okay, I'm going to try and, I guess, post this on Edmodo once I get it rolling so you can look at it before tomorrow. And all the notes are on here too.